All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're tearing down a massive myth, the myth of overnight YouTube success. We always hear about hitting those monetization requirements, right? The elusive 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours. It's treated like the ultimate finish line. Creators grind for months, sometimes literally years, totally convinced that once they get approved, bam, everything changes and the money just pours in. But what actually happens on day one? Well, today we're unpacking a fascinating case study of a creator's first 30 monetized days. We're looking at the real numbers, the painfully slow days, and the actual mechanics of how this income is built. Okay, let's dive right into this. There's this huge, stark contrast between the expectation and the reality of finally getting monetized. The expectation? Fireworks, instant wealth, massive life upgrades. It's the hype we're all constantly sold. But the reality? Yeah, it's far more sobering. It's basically a quiet email in a silent room and an analytics dashboard that barely moves. After months of obsessing over retention graphs and agonizing over thumbnails, the approval doesn't come with a parade. It just means ads are turned on. That's it. Section 1. The Day 1 Reality, the anticlimax of approval. So imagine staring at your screen, waiting for your life to change, only to realize the work has literally just begun. Because here's the hard truth. The algorithm does not reward approval. It only responds to performance. Getting accepted into the partner program doesn't magically alter how your channel functions behind the scenes. YouTube isn't going to suddenly push your content to millions of viewers just because you've got ads enabled now. No way. Your videos still have to earn those clicks. People still have to actually watch them. The only difference is that your metrics finally have a dollar amount attached.
So what did that dollar amount actually look like on day one? 60 cents. Seriously, picture this. You're frantically refreshing your analytics page every 20, maybe 30 minutes, practically sweating, right? You're just waiting for that massive spike now that the ads are live. And at the end of your first 24 hours as a professional YouTuber, the grand total sits at exactly 60 cents. I mean, you couldn't even buy a candy bar with that.
But hey, don't let that tiny number fool you. Those 60 cents, they were actually incredibly profound. First off, it proved the system actually worked. A real person out there watched a video, an ad played, and tangible revenue was generated. But most importantly, it instantly reset expectations. The illusion of overnight success totally shattered. It was replaced with the realization that, okay, this is a long-term grind for gradual growth. If you're building a channel, this is exactly the mindset shift you need to survive.
Moving into section 2, the quiet phase, building under the surface.
This covers the days right after that 60-cent debut. It's a phase most creators completely hide from their audiences because, frankly, it just isn't flashy. During this quiet phase, daily earnings stubbornly sit at $1 or less. Nothing feels viral. If you're just looking at the daily revenue graph, it looks basically flatline. But, and this is where having the right perspective is absolutely crucial, even though the dashboard isn't showing massive spikes, right underneath the surface, a rock-solid foundation is being built, literally viewer by viewer.
So, the crucial point is this quote right here. Monetization is not a magic switch, it's an amplifier. Think about it. If your content is performing, the revenue is naturally going to follow. But if your content isn't getting views, flipping that monetization switch changes absolutely nothing. It merely amplifies the foundation of viewership you've already built.
Which brings us to section 3, the power of compounding, how revenue actually grows. We're shifting away from that initial flatline to uncover the hidden mechanics of how YouTube income actually scales. Real profitability usually doesn't come from one massive lucky viral spike. Instead, it happens in steps. First, you might start getting steady daily search traffic on a single tutorial video. While that's happening, another video gets picked up by YouTube's browse features. Then, completely out of nowhere, an older upload suddenly gains traction through suggested views. The real shift happens when multiple non-viral videos start performing all at the exact same time. And this brilliantly illustrates the point. Individually, each video is just adding a tiny trickle of watch time and revenue, maybe just pennies a day from search, browse, or suggested feeds. None of them look impressive on their own, right? But when you stack them together on the exact same day, those small streams combine. They start pushing daily earnings from mere cents into actual consistent dollars. And this stacking effect eventually led to a brand new milestone during the first month, $11.56. That was the highest single day of earnings during this initial 30-day period. Now sure, $11 might barely buy you lunch nowadays, but to a new creator, it represents something massive. It's absolute proof.
It proved the income wasn't random. It wasn't just blind luck. It was the direct mathematical result of multiple digital assets working together simultaneously. And that leads to a really exciting realization. If a small handful of decently performing videos can generate $11 in a single day, what happens when that library grows? What happens when you have 20 strong videos or 50? This is where the long-term vision of sustainable income becomes crystal clear. The goal isn't to get one viral hit. The goal is to build a massive, compounding library. Section 4, Month 1 Final Numbers, the 30-day reality check. Now, as we look at this final payout, remember that the pattern of compounding growth we just talked about is vastly more important than this specific dollar amount. But here it is, the grand total for the first 30 monetized days, $116.73. People are going to have wildly different reactions to this number. Some might look at that and think, wow, making over $100 from YouTube in month 1, that's an amazing start. Others might think it's shockingly low for a full month of hard work. Honestly, both of those reactions are completely valid.
Now, what's really interesting about this is the stark contrast between the channel's overall health and that early revenue. Just think about this. In 30 days, the channel generated 79,000 views, racked up 2,000 watch hours, and brought in over 1,300 new subscribers. From the outside looking in, that is incredible momentum. The channel is definitely moving. The audience is growing fast. Yet the revenue sits at a very modest $116. This just goes to show that in the beginning, revenue behaves very differently than views. The views are the leading indicator. The revenue, well, it simply takes time to catch up. So the ultimate takeaway is this. Every new video becomes an asset. Every single month builds on the last. The real, undeniable power of YouTube monetization isn't the thrill of that very first paycheck. It's the compounding effect over time. The work you put in during month 1, it'll still be generating revenue for you in month 6, stacking right on top of everything else you create in between. Because that is how real digital businesses are built. Which leaves us with one final, pretty provocative question. What happens after 90 monetized days? I mean, if a single month of data gives us a glimpse into this slow, steady build, 3 months of data is going to tell a much clearer, much more powerful story. If 30 days is just the foundation, how high does the structure go when those digital assets really start compounding? It's a fascinating thing to think about, and it totally proves why consistency is the absolute ultimate currency in content creation. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep learning, and I'll see you next time.